What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Steve from the Valley Garage, and today we're going to be winterizing our Honda Fury and or your motorcycle in 4 easy steps. Cue the intro. Yes, today's episode is we are going to be winterizing the Honda Fury. Some of you would be like, why are you winterizing your bike? It's still riding season. Yeah, well, it may be riding season for you, but it ain't no riding season for me. I live here in Connecticut up in the Northeast, and the highs are like 30 degrees now, so yippee skippy doo-dah-day. I'm not blessed with Florida, Texas, Hawaii, Southern California, San Diego, beautiful weather like that. That's nice usually all year around. We're in some bitter, dark, dank, cold, and wet New England. That's what we're doing today. We're winterizing the bike. I don't plan on riding for a while now. Sometimes we've got mild winters. Sometimes it's frigid. It seems to be real cold. It's really getting to me this year. But yeah, we're gonna winterize the bike in 4 easy steps. Now, this is what I do. This is how I winterize the bike. There's a million different ways on how people winterize their bike. What's the best way? What's this? What's that? Opinion. That's fantastic. That's great. That's for you. This is what I do. You're watching my show. I'm sure you're curious to what I do. Winterize my bike, and I do it in 4 easy steps. I say that they're easy, but you may not be able to get to all of them, and that's okay. I also have an optional 5th step to do. I digress. So let's start. Step 1 is wash your bike. Now, if you plan on winterizing your bike earlier, what I like to do with the Fury is give her a full detail wash, maybe around Thanksgiving, if it's the weather's nice, mid-November, at least for Connecticut. So I wash the bike, I detail it, because I don't want to, that's my baby. I don't want to park my bike when she's all dirty, sitting in this garage, you know, freezing up. So yes, definitely wash the bike. That's step 1. If you don't have time to wash the bike, or if you can't wash the bike because it's just that cold outside, you know, that's up to you, but that's what I do, is wash the bike. She's washed as good as she can be with the time that I've got. Step 2. Fuel stabilizer. Fuel stabilizer, some people use it, some people don't. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But if you're going to use anything, you know, you could use Starbright, Startron, Electron, whatever. What's nice with this is that one cap treats half a gallon of fuel. You have about 3.5 gallons in the Fury tank. So do the math. 3.5 divided by 0.5, that's 7 caps. You open her up, glug, glug, glug. You do 8, you could do 8. A little more, won't hurt anything. But this little bottle treats 48 gallons, so I wouldn't want to dump the whole thing in the gas tank. Fuel stabilizer. 1. 7. Why fuel stabilizer? Well, today's modern fuel expires, or I shouldn't say expires, but the power behind today's fuel only lasts about 45 days. After 45 days, the gasoline is not fresh anymore and starts to break down. Now, sure, you can have gas in a gas tank or a gas can for over a year, 2 years. It's still gonna light on fire, but your motor may not run optimally. Why do you use fuel stabilizer? Well, you'll use fuel stabilizer to stabilize and slow that reaction down from changing over to a gummy kind of nastiness. Perfect example, for my CR85 dirt bike when I was redoing the carburetor and cleaning it out. That was very gummy. The gas got gummy. The gas was old. And get that sucked in your jets and then you're fucked. You do what you can. Again, gas is really only good for about 45 days at optimal peak performance. So with that being said, take it as you leave it. That's what that is, all right? If you don't believe me, look it up. Moving on to step uno tres. Step 3 is to add fuel to the fuel tank as high as you can go for the neck because of science. My unofficial fuel that I use for the Valley Garage is Shell V-Power. I use Shell Station V-Power 93. Now, I can hear it now, the gremlins, but the Fury is a low compression motor. You don't need 93. 89 is just fine. You're just wasting money. I'm not wasting money. I'm not wasting money because I'll tell you why. Because the 93 V-Power has special additives into the fuel to help it stabilize it even better. It also runs better through your bike because it cleans out carbon deposits and things that are built up in your motor. That's why I use 93. I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna complain of paying $2 more going from 89 to a premium because I only want the best that I can buy. And I ain't cheap. Gas is cheap. What are you paying for? You're paying for smiles per gallon. Is what you're paying for. Smiles per gallon. Oh, I don't want to hear it. So my opinion, that's why I use Shell 93, the unofficial fuel of the Valley Garage. First, I use the big can and fill up the tank as much as I possibly can, and then I start using the smaller little bottles. Now I use the smaller bottle because it's just easier to pour. I don't want gas blowing all over my tank, pulling up your clear coat, okay? Because that's what it'll do. We'll eat right through that. So, yeah, glug, 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 glug. Fill your tank up as best you can, and then I switch over to a smaller bottle and I use my funnel to pour it into the gas tank to top it up to the neck. Whoa, okay. We'll let that drain out. Why do you want to fill the gas tank all the way up to the neck, okay? You want to fill the gas tank for the neck because of condensation.
You idiot, that's condensation.
In my garage, in most garages and sheds and wherever you're storing your bike, unless you have a heated garage, you don't have to worry about this, but most of us don't have that because we're poor. What happens? It gets cold at night and then it gets warmer during the day. And so when the air temperature is going hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold, condensation can form, water droplets. Condensation can form on the top of the gas tank where there is no fuel. When that happens, over time, you start building up water, be at a little bit, not a lot, but you will get water in your gas tank. So what happens with the condensation is now when it's in the springtime and you want to start your bike up, you got condensation in the gas tank. You got some water mixed up in there. You want to be sucking water through your injectors? I don't think so. The other option would be, I mean, you could drain all the fuel, but then the fuel will be drained and then you really got to fill all the way back up, which is just much easier to just top your tank off on your last ride, your last hoorah of the season. I go to Shell, I pick 93, I fill the tank up as much as I can, and then I have my little fuel cell gas can, and I top the tank off as high as I can go. You know, just to the neck is fine. You want to have some space. If you literally bring the fuel all the way to the top and you put the cap on, and then fuel kind of squishes out the side, you'll run into a problem in the summertime where the gas will expand, and it can expand so much that you can stall out your bike. I've done it on my Grom. I've filled the gas tank up as high as I can early morning for work. The bike sat in the sun all day. Literally, I tried to start the bike and it started and it was like running all funky. I made it 2 feet down the street and I shot. I literally had to take the key, open the gas tank up, let that expansion come through, and then close the gas tank, and then start, and finally got the bike started and continued on my way. Be it full throttle all the way width open, ripping to make as much room as possible before because I did not want to be stuck because of fuel expansion. So anyway, there's a little tidbit, but that's what you do. Fill it so you reduce the possibility of condensation forming in your gas tank due to your garage going hot, cold, and sucking water into your injectors. Mix it up. Recap. Step 1, wash the bike. Step 2, add your fuel stabilizer. Step 3, top the fuel tank up and give it a shake. Step 4, get yourself a battery tender. I make a video every winter talking about battery tender. Battery tender will save lives. Okay, will save lives. Nobody wants to start the riding season in 2025 with a dead battery, okay? Be at lithium or be at traditional lead acid battery. There are 2 types of chargers out on the market. You got to decide which one you're going to buy due to which battery you have installed in your bike. The 2 best and most commonly used trickle chargers on the market is for lithium, NOCO. For traditional lead battery acid, battery tender. Some trickle charger battery maintainers are what they would call smart charger. A smart charger can determine when you plug the charger in if it is a lead acid battery charger or a lithium. Now, I was against lithium my entire life, and then I started having hot start problems with the Fury. All of that problems went away when I went with a NOCO lithium battery. Don't know what I'm talking about. I got a lithium battery video based on the Fury and doing the install. Now, you don't want to mix lithium and traditional or traditional and lithium chargers with the wrong battery because heat is bad. Heat expands. Heat melts and blows up, causes fire. It's literally happened. Don't believe me? Look at my video. I have a perfect example of a lithium battery that melted because they put a traditional lead acid battery charger on there. Battery tenders, they have lithium and they also have traditional batteries. NOCO, their chargers are the smart chargers. And they have an option where you just click the mode. You have your traditional lead acid 12 volt and you have your lithium. I have the NOCO lithium charger in the Fury. This is my Fury charger. The Genius stands for how quickly the charger can be, the battery can be up to charge. Genius 1, which is their base model, you plug it in, you give it a couple hours, you're good to go. Your Genius 5 does it faster, the 10 even faster, so on and so forth. But I cannot stress enough, battery tenders and maintainer. One killer for batteries is the cold. Destroys them. So you got batteries in your refrigerator, that doesn't do anything. It's been proven, okay? Trust me, I'm an expert. When it comes to battery chargers, usually they will come with a little lead, and the leads attach right to your batteries. Makes it so easy to create a quick disconnect from your motorcycle. So all I have to do is take my charger, plug it in the wall, verify that I got power, and right here under my cover, I wired in my little terminal. This goes to the positive and negative part of the battery. Blick. And the NOCO knows that it is already a lithium and I've got little charge. Now I got 1.5 charge, 50%. Now my battery just unplugged previous to this video, but it's charging and it's maintaining. So you just plug this in and away you go. I have it literally left like this and it's perfect. There's nothing left to do except wait for it to get warm and then just start ripping, all right? In the beginning of this video, I told you 4 easy steps with a 5th optional. Let's recap. 1, wash your bike, give it a little detail before she goes into hibernation. 2, add your fuel stabilizer into the motorcycle. Link in the description below if you know what I'm talking about. There it is. 3, after you put your fuel stabilizer in, top the tank off with gas to reduce the ability for condensation to form in your gas tank, so you're good to go when it comes to springtime. 4, get yourself a battery tender, plug it in. I'll put links in the description below, but the no-go lithium and the traditional lead acid battery, so you know to buy the right thing. That's step 4. Now step 5, which is optional. Do you or do you not cover your motorcycle? That's something that you have to determine for yourself. Now, there are multiple types of covers to use over your bike. I can tell you this, you do not want to use a thick cover, but prefer to have a thin or a dust cover. When you have a thick cover, remember I talked about condensation in your garage and your fuel tank? Well, if you have a pretty thick cover over the top and it does not breathe well, that condensation will form your cover, okay? If you've got chrome, if you've got specially painted parts, you don't want water and vapor and condensation to be on all of those pieces. I would advise you to not cover your motorcycle. If you use a sheet, make sure it's a thin sheet. Again, it's only just to keep the dust off. There's no other protection by putting a cover on other than that. That brings me to step 1 about washing your bike, because I have a lot of humidity and changes in temperature here in New England. It's freaking crazy, okay? It could be 50 degrees tomorrow, 20 degrees today. It's wide range. So apart from my S2000, I have a special cover that is for breathability for that. But when it comes to my motorcycles, even in the wintertime, I don't cover them. I don't cover them because I know that I have a lot of moisture in the garage, and I don't want my prized possessions, my beauties, my girls, my old lady rippers, to be getting all rusted up. When I buy a bike, I buy for life. That's my motto. I never sell. That's why you can acquire 8 different motorcycles and dirt bikes combined with a cool sports car, because that's just how I roll. Valid garage. I don't cover my bikes at all. Maybe you want to. Maybe you live in a dusty environment or out in the Midwest or something, then cover will be options. But if you have temperature and humidity swings, I wouldn't want to cover them. Those are my 4.5 easy steps to winterizing my bike. She's good to go. That's it. That's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed that. If you learned a thing or two, fantastic. If you do something different, throw a comment below. Any creativity is a plus for me. If you got a naysayer, never mind the naysayers. That's what I was always told, so never mind them. But yeah, that's it. She's ready to rip when it gets warm out, all right? Y'all have a good one. Peace!